Now watch. How does God judge the living and the dead? I'm going to show you. Let's look at them. First off, run through it. Next slide. First off, it's a judgment that will concern His appearing in His kingdom. Go on. Next one. Here's the kinds of judgment. First, God has to judge the dead. That's righteous and unrighteous. He'll judge people who believe in Him and who don't when they die. So when Granddaddy dies, if he believes in Him, he's judged one way. If Granddaddy dies and doesn't believe, he's judged another way. The next is God has to judge the living. The living are all of us that are here when the rapture comes and He returns. We haven't died yet. Those that are living, that are righteous, are treated differently than those that are unrighteous when He returns. How does He deal with the living righteous and the living unrighteous? He's going to deal with all of them. And then the third one is to the Jew, His own people. We never can overlook the fact that God is dealing with His own people, the Jew, in a very different way than He deals with the rest of humanity. And so when you read the Bible, you have to know which group of people is He talking about to understand it, especially the Gospel of Matthew. When He's talking about all the nations and the sheep nations and the goat nations, He's not talking about you and I as Christians. He's talking about all the living that did not make the rapture, who are still here on this planet after the church has been removed. Because once the righteous living and the righteous dead have been removed at the rapture, and we are brought up to meet the Lord in the air, and in the twinkling of an eye, the righteous living and the righteous dead are clothed with an immortality and with an imperishable body, there are still all the unrighteous dead and all the unrighteous living who are still on this planet, that God is going to have to deal with them. And then the book of Revelation, chapter 4 on all the way to chapter 19, we read about what is going on as God deals with His people, the Jew. And in Revelation, down at the bottom, that's the whole Revelation chapter 4 through Revelation chapter 20. You will read about the Antichrist and all of the torments coming against the Jewish nation. And you will read in the book of Revelation, which will make a little more sense. In the book of Revelation, you're reading about all the unrighteous living and all the Jewish people who are still here on this planet under the kingdom of Satan and the mark of the beast and 666 and all that Hollywood stuff we see. That's that group of people. The unrighteous dead are waiting on judgment. The righteous dead are already with the Lord. The righteous living are already with the Lord up in heaven at the marriage supper of the Lamb. The unrighteous living are still on this planet going through all of the mark of the beast, the Antichrist, the kingdom, all of the torment, the world burning up, all of the plagues and stuff like that. And the unrighteous dead, they're held in chains waiting a day of judgment. So when you die without Christ, you go to a place and you wait to be held to judgment. Your body stays in the ground. Your spirit goes to a place of judgment where you are held in chains awaiting a great day of judgment. Revelation chapter 20 is where we will see this. When you die as a righteous person, your body stays in the ground and you immediately go be with the Lord. So the righteous dead die. Granddaddy dies, but he believes in Jesus. We plant his body in the ground, and his spirit immediately goes to be with Christ. Granddaddy dies, but he's not righteous. He's never believed in Jesus. We plant his body in the ground, and his spirit goes to what we would term hell. Pastor David taught you the different meanings. But he would go to hell, not lake of fire. He would go to hell to be held in chains and await judgment. So his spirit is held till the end to wait judgment. When all the dead will be brought up and will be judged, the unrighteous dead will be judged by God. Both bodies are in the ground. This body right here comes up at the rapture. So God comes back to get his church. This dead righteous body blows open, grave comes, dead body goes up with his spirit where it's at, and all the living spirits and bodies go up to be with the Lord. But at the rapture, when the church is removed, the unrighteous dead stay in the ground while their spirit stays in, I'm just going to use the word hell, in hell, waiting judgment. Not lake of fire, just waiting judgment. God is going to deal with this group at the very end. He will call all the dead up at the very end, and He will judge them.